Welcome back to my channel, Recover Beauty. For anyone who comes in contact with this video, welcome. Today I want to talk about hair. And as you can see, I have this beautiful candle that is lit. It is lemon flavored. And I thought that was just perfect for what we're going to talk about today. If you know anything about the chakras, this candle I have been using to work on my solar plexus. And the solar plexus has to do with self-esteem and self-worth. So on this channel, I have other videos that I've done, and I would encourage you to check out those previous videos so that you can get a good grasp on what my channel focuses on. My channel focuses on just the African American woman experience, since I am African American, and it focuses on healing from trauma, healing your self-worth through the arts. So we could do poetry, writing, dance. And though I haven't got to the type of content yet where I'm posting like the arts, that will be coming in its own time, because I'm pretty much creating content as I go, enjoying the ambiance of getting things off my chest. I do want to say rest in peace to anyone who just recently passed away. That has been on my heart lately, and I think I'm going to begin just having just a moment where I just be quiet for them and just keep them in my thoughts. So I want to talk more about hair because I recently seen the Pop the Balloon episode. I don't really watch Pop the Balloon much, but there was this woman on there who was wearing her hair in its natural state, and there was a comment that the guy made about her hair, that he doesn't like short hair or something like that. So it kind of sparked conversations about the African American woman's hair. I think there was a few women on there who responded back to him, and I feel like some of them, they did their best, but based on their response, I can tell we have a lot of healing to do, because there was a few things that just bothered me just with the comebacks. One thing is, using the African American hair, the African American woman's hair, like the Afro texture hair, in the same sentence as flaws. And that's just a prime example of how, as little girls, we grew up with these concepts given by others that associated coily hair as a flaw. So that's just one thing I wanted to point out. I'm going to go back and probably find that episode and watch it again, because I was just analyzing it and I was like, wow, how could I, if I was in her shoes, if I was someone who was trying to come back, like speak up for the African American coily hair texture hair, what would I say? I wouldn't want to. It's the whole point that it's like we have to make sure, because we've been so ingrained to think of coily texture hair as a flaw or as inferior or not good enough, not pretty at all. there's a work to be done that I feel like I want to talk more about on this channel. So the word deconstruction is coming to me, where I would even share some of my own limited beliefs about my hair that I am just going to put on front street, that I'm ready to deconstruct these limiting beliefs about my hair so I could better my self-esteem and self-worth when it comes to my hair, so that I don't have to rely on people's validation or acceptance for what was given to me at birth. You see? So yeah, man, we have some work to do, really, and I'm glad that I did create this channel, because honestly, I created this channel primarily for me. Excuse me. You know how NWA, I think it was one interview where Ice Cube and another member was saying they made their music to get stuff off their chest, you know, and whoever likes it, likes it. I kind of feel that way about my channel, where when it comes to self-esteem and healing in the African American woman's experience with just being in her own aesthetics, being in her own talent and creativity, being in her protection, you know, stuff like that. I'm creating content that kind of discusses, you know, what is it like, you know, healing, just healing from a lot of things. It's a lot to be said, so I'm gonna do my best not to trail off topic, and because I'm just going, I didn't write a script for this or anything, but that's how I feel about my channel. I feel like I made this channel for me, so that I can work on my own, like, healing and self-esteem and self-worth. So yeah, so back to, you know, the woman whose hair was, she was basically told her hair was short. I looked at the woman's hair, and one of the things that I noticed was her hair has a lot of bounce back. I don't want to say shrinkage anymore, because I just don't feel like that word is becoming anymore of describing my Afro texture hair. There's a lot of vocabulary that you're going to notice I talk about that I'm just going to start changing for me. For, you know, like, I don't call myself unambiguous. Just say what I am. You don't need to say what I'm not, right? I'm not the to ambiguity. My African American features are clear and straightforward, so you don't need to ask questions about me being of mixed heritage or anything like that. You could clearly see with my prominent, you could clearly see that my African American or black features predominates my face and my body. So there's no questions really needed, you know. So I looked at her hair, and her hair has a lot of bounce back, you know, and in its resting state, the hair bounced back up to her ears or to the nape of her neck, and it was framing her forehead a little bit, you know, like it was just framing her face. And I guarantee you, if she was to pull a strand of her hair as far as it could go, her hair is long. is much longer than what it appears. Like her hair length, if you were to pull her hair strand, if she was to pull her hair strand, that hair strand would be twice as long as her hair in its resting state. And I think I'm going to use that. I'm going to just use that as an example of how mystique and mysterious and beautiful our hair is, really. Because I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to share a little bit of my truth about how I see my hair. Because I don't want to be fake. I don't want to say a lot of stuff that I know I really do not mean. So after I make this point, I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience with my hair and how I've been feeling wearing my hair in its resting state. You know, my hair has bounced back as well, and believe you me, my hair is way shorter than that lady's hair that was on the Pop the Balloon episode. Okay, so what I want to say is, that is one of the characteristics of the aesthetics. That's one of the aesthetics of the African American hair texture, is that you don't even know how long our hair is until we dip under the water and come back up. You get to see that stretch. Hair going down the back or past the shoulders, but it's going to bounce right back up to wherever length it was. You don't know the texture, the length of our hair until we pull it, and it goes past our ears or to our collarbone, or some of us to our shoulders, and some of us to the small of our back. You just do not know. Right? Quite the illusion, huh? And no other hair really does that but the Afro texture hair, you know. So I think that I'm going to use that just to even add on to this talk, that I am starting to see that the Afro texture hair, the black hair, African American hair, whatever you want to call it, you know, the 4 hair types, it's mystique, it's unpredictable, it's very interesting, and that makes it very interesting, because before we even put any product in our hair, right, before we straighten it with a flat iron or get a silk press, or before we even go for the braids or the twists or the cornrows, even before we even do any of that, we can wear our hair in multiple ways. And I think I'm gonna do a video about that too, because that's interesting. Like, the first one is like how that lady was wearing it on Pop the Balloon, and I'm sorry that I don't know her name. I didn't get her name as of yet. You could wear it in its resting state, or you could comb out those coils with like a pick or a comb and just wear it in a bigger afro, you know. You can wear it twist out or braid out, and it will all just look different. So that's like 4 different types of hairstyles that we can do that takes minimum time and minimum effort, because our hair is so mystique and versatile. I may have said that word wrong. I have a habit of pronouncing words wrong, but I can spell them. But we could wear our hair so many ways. And I count that as part of the aesthetics of the African American or black or Afro textured hair. Oh, and you want to know what else too that I noticed when looking at my hair? There's a lot of us, we don't have a lot of us in our hair, we have a lot of how do I want to say this? I think is it cloudiness? Like we just, the definition in our hair is hidden, you know? And I think that's why a lot of African American women, they prefer that definition type of look, so they go for the hair creams, they go for the mousse, stuff like that. That's their preference. But leaving the hair alone, like when I leave my hair alone, I do have some definition to my coils, but for the most part, you cannot see much definition of my strands. I think that also adds to the mystique look and just the mysteriousness and the intrigue of the Afro texture hair. To me, right? This is, you know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And on the other hand, as one who wears Afro texture hair on my head, when I look in the mirror, those are the type of thoughts that come to my mind. You know, me getting to really know my hair. Yeah. So I'll talk more about things like that in the next coming videos. I now want to talk about my personal thoughts and feelings about my own hair. If I could just be a bit vulnerable, because it's time, you know, it's time. We gotta have the conversation. We gotta have real conversations now. No more sugarcoating, no more of these the preachy conversations, the cookie cutter conversations. It's time to meet people where they are. It's time to really get to the root of what women, what African American women, what do we really feel about our hair? And I'm not saying you have to tell all your business on the rooftop. I think it's time for us to identify our safe spaces and really get to work on ourselves and how we see our hair and how we see ourselves for for healthier self-esteem and healthier self-worth. So I wanted to share just 2 affirmations before I get more into my truth, my vulnerability about my hair. Since we are doing the solar plexus, I hope you're enjoying the lit candles. It's lemon flavored. It's great for when you're working on the solar plexus, if you're into the chakras, if you're into the chakra system. So I wanted to share an affirmation that I created. This is a affirmation, a positive affirmation or a statement that I created to kind of speak over myself about my hair. So one of my affirmations is this. My hair resembles that from which I get my oxygen from. And another one is, my hair resembles that part of nature from which the rain comes. I'm going to share even another one. My hair is divinely connected to nature itself. okay. So these affirmations are really important to me because, again, I am weaning myself away from depending on people's validation of my hair, because it's not coming. It's not coming. It didn't come then. It's not going to come now, right? I mean, I do get compliments sometimes. People say, your hair is gorgeous. Thank you. That's something that I'm going to be working with as well. But I don't want to leave my validation or my approval of my hair to society. I want to be able to get that from within. And part of that is me being able to use my own eyes when I go for walks and I see nature, and I'm open to what message I will receive about how welcomed my hair is on this earth. It may not be welcomed by certain structures in this society, but my hair, if it is welcomed in any way on this earth, I need that message. I need to reconnect back to the nature that I am a part of, and part of that is how I got those affirmations. With all of that said, in full honesty and vulnerability, here we go. I do not like my hair. I have not liked my hair since I was a little girl. I do not like my hair, and I did not get to this place on my own. Because had I had it my way, I wouldn't even be here saying this. I prefer not to have this experience of not liking my hair. I really do. Because as a woman, what woman wants to feel like they don't like their hair? That's not even in our nature, We want to look at our hair and be satisfied with it, right? Some women do. They get up, they have no problem, they shake it and they go and they love their hair. But then there are some women, such as myself, I don't like my hair. And a disclaimer, just because I don't like my hair, this is not to say that every African American woman goes through this, that every African American woman don't like their hair. There's women with their hair texture, it could be 4A, 4B, 4C, and they never had an issue with liking their hair. Never. I believe there is some women out there who are like that. So this is just my personal experience. So I am really, really big on getting in there and pulling up the roots and just looking at stuff within myself. And I think it's a major step for me to just be honest and truthful. I don't like my hair because it feels like almost like no matter what I do, it's not enough. It doesn't feel like I don't feel pretty enough. Right? So I have been wearing my hair in its most resting state. I don't know how long now. I didn't even care to count the days because I have really been battling with these I'm in conflict. I'm in constant conflict. I don't prefer to wear my hair in its resting state. I don't like it. But I know, furthermore, and more importantly so, I know that I'm fighting a battle. I know I am. And I've been feeling tempted every single day to take hours to put braids in my hair or to get a silk press, or feeling really nervous that I may get fired from my job. They don't like my hair. Just having thoughts like that. None of that being fired from my job probably won't even happen. They probably really like my hair, but these are some of the thoughts that I will go through wearing my hair in its most resting state, which is not touching it. I'm wash it. I do my oil treatments. I wash my hair. I give my scalp massages, and I wear my bonnet every night. I take good care of my hair, and I kind of lost my train of thought, so excuse me. But it's just a lot that I know I'm grappling with this. I know I'm going through this inner conflict, but you want to know what else? I don't think I'm the only one. And I think it's time for us to really have the conversation, and we need to start with ourselves. Really, how much mental work it takes to sometimes even look in the mirror, just for the intention of beginning to embrace the coily hair texture. Because there has been so much said about the coily hair texture that has been deeply displeasing. The propaganda, the stuff they show in commercials, who's the love interest in the movies. It's not really the woman with the coily hair. We don't see coily hair on television being the center of validation. When I was born into this world, I don't really expect handouts. If anything, it could be really hard for me to really receive help at all, or assistance at all, just because of I've seen people abuse their power, and I don't want no strings attached. But I feel like it's definitely that time where fighting for someone's attention and validation is exhausting. And it's time, for me at least, to really hone down on why look for validation of the next person about my hair. Why care so much? And is it costing me more than it's benefiting me? Now, this is not to say that I've been seeking for validation. I think I stopped that years ago. I don't even know if I really did seek people's validation. I just know that energy was there, that somehow, some way, people expect for you to care what they think about your hair, because I know it because they volunteer their opinions. Like, if you have experience going out, to go to school or something, and your hair, you saying, I'm gonna wear my hair natural today. I'm just gonna leave it alone. And then sure enough, a family member says, when are you gonna do something with your hair? You see what I'm saying? Like, why do you think your opinion matters so much? Like, why do you even think to say that? When you see this bow in my hair, you literally see that I moisturized my hair and I actually accessorized it with a cute bow. And then you still gonna say, when you're gonna do something, like, are you doing that on purpose? So it's just little stuff like that where I feel like people think that their opinion matters so much. And something, it's just time to let them think that. Just think it. At least that's for me. Because I have enough on my plate, So I just want to say, what I'm going to begin doing is continuing to light this candle, work on my solar plexus, and really sit in these thoughts and emotions I've been having for the sole purpose of getting ready to deconstruct this whole belief system I have in myself about what makes hair beautiful and what makes hair unattractive. And why do I think my hair is unattractive? I want to start where I am. And I think that's what we miss a lot. We do not start where people are, because I think a lot of us came up in a generation where there was a lot of emotional coldness, in our home. Many of our parents didn't even know how to really level with us as children. They didn't know how to see us from where we were and have empathy and compassion on us. So we didn't learn that. But it's a brand new day. It's a brand new day, and I remind myself to give myself another chance. Give myself another chance at it. It's hard. You know, the reason I think that I have hatred for my hair is because of the subtle insinuations. You know, those times when you be like, what you mean? Like, what do you mean by that? Like that point in time when a family member told me that my hair don't hang, like it was a flaw. And I have a witty mouth and a witty mind, but that doesn't mean that my heart is truly connecting with the aesthetics of my hair. But I knew to say, you know, my hair is not supposed to. You know, the Afro texture hair, it grows out. It grows out like the sun, you know, the sun rays. Eventually it will hang, but you're not going to tell it when. It's going to do that on its own, you know. And I just think people just don't want to make room in their mental spaces for what I'm talking about. And that is okay for them. You know, it's hard making room in your mental space when it comes to deconstructing, tearing something down to build it back up again. And I feel like as an African American woman with my own hair, I got work to do. And I'm learning to be okay with that. Sometimes I struggle with accepting that I sometimes feel like I don't want to have to be in this place where I have to do all this work. I should already have it in me where I'm like, my hair is beautiful and it's not a problem. Yeah, you know, that's sometimes how I feel. But then I have to catch myself and explore acceptance, meditation, and stuff like that. So I need to first accept that this is what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking, and I need to be able to feel all of the emotions that come with it. Cry if I need to. And I feel like I'm not the only one. I do. There's a lot of African American women I do feel like they could be hiding, or it could be hard for them to face their own hair texture too, because it's just so much trauma with that. It is. And it's not that we expect for anyone to understand or care, right? It's not that. I don't even think it's that, because I think so many times people will show us that it's not their problem, right? And it's not. This beautiful burden, this beautiful problem that hurts, but sometimes that also is rewarding, it really is for you with your own hair. And nobody else on this earth really has this very unique and particular challenge. You know, only you and only me. So everything happens for a reason. You know, I'm just catching stuff left to right. You know, the Pop the Balloon episode with that lady who had all that hair on her head, just for someone who don't really know the characteristics and aesthetics of her hair. They just say it's just short. That's it. And that's usually what happens sometimes with the African-American or Afro or Black American women's features. It's treated as just bland, and then that's it. You know? But I light a candle to all of the women like myself who are battling a very serious battle. If I was to, I'm tempted every day to just go and get a wig and put it on my head. But I know if I was to do that, am I taken away from my healing? Because I am getting more and more richer in age. I am getting more and more, older. And I don't want this issue to get stronger and stronger. It's like that time where you need to really slow down and really, really make sure you're working the steps. So I always think about escapes all the time, all day. But I haven't done it. And if I'm ever comfortable to show my face on camera, maybe I will. But, I believe I have 4A, 4B type hair. I used to think that I had 3C hair because I just didn't understand my hair texture. I really didn't. But just like that lady on Pop the Balloon, my hair bounces back. I pull my hair strand, it bounces back. That is healthy version Afro texture hair. It is. And that is a very, very good thing. But the goal is for me to really believe that. And how about you? How about you? So, I light a candle to all of the pain that came with someone showing in their own subtle way or blatant way that they don't accept your hair. They don't accept it as it is, I light a candle to just feeling excluded, feeling put down. In more extreme cases, losing a relationship, losing a job, just because you simply want your hair to rest the way it is on your head. Just like any other woman of any other race is allowed to do so. I light a candle to that. May you sleep deeply and rest, and may you wake up in the morning ready to face your hair, ready to apologize to your scalp for believing the limiting beliefs. Those times where you abused your hair, burning your scalp with the, what do you call it, perms and relaxers, or the hot combs. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with getting your hair relaxed or anything like that. I'm not saying that at all. I got my hair relaxed before too, but this is for those who know you got your hair relaxed and you kept it relaxed because you really just couldn't face the version of your hair. VIRGIN version. You don't have to feel alone. I'm with that as well. So yeah, it's a lot to sit with. But nobody is going to do this beautiful work for me. So I'm honored to do it. And in all truth, in actuality, there are times I feel like I don't want to do it. I don't think it's fair to have to go through so much mental strain just for wearing my hair the way it is. But it happens. I didn't ask for it. I'm not holding on to any pain. It's just is what it is right now. What I can't say is since I have committed to, at least for not right now, braiding my hair or anything like that, I had a whole lot of free time to work on other things. More time for my meditations, more time for just resting. And that feels good. So, if you have anything encouraging and real to say, feel free to leave a comment. You know, you can like, you can also subscribe. If you know, I'll be coming out with more and more videos like this one. I'm trying to see if I had anything else to say about hair. Ooh. I do want to say one more thing, that this situation is so deep that I remember sometimes feeling like, you know, does God himself think I'm pretty with my hair? Or would he count me out as well and go for the woman with the looser curl hair? Will he hear her prayers? You know, will he better receive her? I mean, you see, that's how I know we're dealing with a belief system within ourselves. And that belief system really does spread itself all over every aspect of our life, even our spirituality. Because I know I'm experiencing that with me. So I don't want to avoid this conversation by saying that I'm not my hair and then that's it. I'm acknowledging that there's something there that needs to be teared down, and I would like to see it teared down and built back up. I feel like that's what I want. No cookie cutting, no preaching to the choir, no glossing over anything, no. So if you're on the same wavelength, you know, just keep watching. And I hope this video was uplifting. You could rewind it to get those affirmations if you found those helpful. So let's blow out the candle in a second. Let's blow out the candle and just have a really good Sunday. May you be in peace and rest. May you look in the mirror, for all of you with Afro texture hair, and you begin to withstand your thoughts and feelings about them. If you are fighting the same battle as me, may you build your tolerance. May you begin to identify very harmful and destructive beliefs about your hair. Make a list of them to get ready to break them down and burn them away, so that you can make room for a whole new belief system about your hair.